Welcome. Waiting for my Facebook to get open. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Anonymous Dad podcast. I know it's been a minute since I've been on. That's all right. I'm here today. Here to tell y'all we talking about time, and the title of this episode is "What Goes Around." Um, The reason why it took me so long to do this is because I have been a little busy with my time's been consumed with work and family things and stuff like that. So I felt like this was a good topic to talk about from a dad's perspective. Remember, everything I say about on these podcasts is my own opinions, my views. You can agree with me, disagree with me. I like to hear feedback. If not, that's cool. Most importantly, share the video with people, family, friends. If you feel like whatever I say hits home to you and you know somebody that might need to hear what I have to say, don't be scared to share that video. Share this video. All the other videos I have, they're on Facebook. I put them on YouTube. I also start doing them on IG, on Instagram. So I'm just trying to make sure that I can reach everybody on different platforms where available. I know everybody has access to YouTube. Not everybody does have an IG or Facebook, which is all good. Excuse me. But once again, like I say, this podcast may not be for you, but it may be for someone else. So, just go ahead and if you do me a favor, share it, uh, like it, subscribe to the Anonymous Dad on YouTube or on Facebook. But once again, here we are with episode 5. What goes around? We all know the saying, "What goes around comes around." I feel like uh, that is very important in life because you know, to me, it's a life is like a circle, um, and time is most of the time when we look at clocks, they are a circle. Um, so it's just time is a unit of measurement. It's just a way how we can measure things in life, um, and also it's just something that we kind of live by. Um, I have a definition of time, and I like to read with y'all. Time is defined as the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, the present, and the future, regarded as a whole. You could take that definition and interpret it your own way. I look at it as, like I said before, time is a unit of measurement. There are some folks who don't believe time is real, and we'll get on to that later on. But I was talking with a couple people, and I told them that every time you look at a clock, it's a circle, and it starts at a place and it ends at a place. You think about life. Everybody watch The Lion King. If you haven't, go watch it. It's a greater test of life. But life is full circle. Uh, you have a beginning. You start at birth, then you live through life, then you come around to the end, death. It starts back over. Now, people can have their own depiction of life or the afterlife, whatever it may be. But in my opinion, it boils down to even look at plant life. You have a plant, it starts with a seed. You plant that seed, that plant grows. Eventually, that plant is going to have live its lifetime and is going to die. Well, most of the time, that plant fertilizes and has offsprings, and it has those offsprings have seeds. So the life circle it starts back around. Life goes around and around. Um, so I look at life. Even if you look at a digital clock, it resets itself. It goes 59, then it starts back at 0. So life to me is full circle. Time is full circle. Everything has to start then it ends. You know, everything has a beginning and an end. Um, you can look at the life of a car, for example. You buy a car, you drive that car, then you either sell that car or that car dies on you. So it's a beginning and an end. But time is a unit of measurement. And within unit of measurements, you have numbers. So let's look at life. I was born in 87, 1987. You know, kids be like, oh, you was born in the 1900s? You old. First of all, I ain't old. I am not old. I'm young. I'm vibrant. I feel good. I hurt a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you because I'm 34. But it's all good. Everybody know that's, as you get older in age, you start to be like, pain sets in. But that's life. Um, Also, with time, you know, it gives you more wisdom and everything like that. But time as a unit of measurement, you know, it is something how we just measure ourselves, what we have to do in a certain amount of time in a day, what we have to do in our work time, what we have to do in the week or in a year. We measure life through time. And I want to touch on the fact of how we try as dads. Like I say, this is everything is coming from a dad's point of view. So, it's not to disregard mothers. Like I've said before, it's just me. I'm talking about from what I know the best. But as dads, we try to cram as much as we can into a certain amount of time. Whether it be work, trying to get everything done at work, whether it try to be spending time with the kids, whether it try to be spending time with the wife or your spouse or whoever it may be, or spending time with your homeboys. We try to cram as much as we can into that little time frame. You gotta understand, we got 24 hours in a day. So I was talking to my barber. Shout out to my barber. He got me looking extra fly. So Tree Master Barber, hit him up. Anyways, we try to fit so much into one day, every day. I talked to him. I said, think about this. If somebody works a regular 9 to 5, all right, they usually have about 16 to 18 hours in that day. We all know that it's 24 hours in a day, relatively speaking, that you're trying to get as much as you can done in those 24 hours and include sleep with that. So the average person, let's say they work a 9 to 5, right? They're going to get up about 6, 7 maybe. They go to work 9 to 5. Then they come home, or they may go out to grab something to eat, go to a bar, whatever it may be, socialize, things like that. So by the time they get home, it's about 8 o'clock, right? You're going to sit down for about an hour, 2 hours, whatever like that may be. It's about 9, 10 o'clock before you lay down. You're going to get right back up at 6. So I say the average person spends about 16 to 18 hours trying to figure out how to include every and anything they can in their life in that time frame. That's a lot. Think about what you do in your own life. It's a lot. So you have to look at time as precious. And they always say the present is a present because it's a gift. We are not always guaranteed tomorrow. We all understand that life could be cut short like that, whether we want it to or not. We pray and hope that we can live to be 70, 80, 90 years old. That's a long life. That's a long time. People have done a lot in their time frame that they are given. I know some people that can do a lot within 18 hours. I know some people who can do nothing in 18 hours. Everybody has their own agenda in life. I just want us to understand that we have to pick and choose what is prevalent for us. To do what we have to do what we need to get done within that allotted time frame that we have, especially in the present. One thing about time is once it's gone, it's gone. You can never get it back. Never. I was at work last night and I was sitting there like, Man, that's some bull. Like, why did I have to be there? They had enough people to be there, you know. But I got mandatory, quote unquote, whatever like that. And the guy said, "Man, you gotta think about it, bro. That's free money. Money ain't everything, but time is. Cause I can't get time back. I can go make some more money, but I can't get the time back. That's time I'm missing away from my family. That's time I'm missing away from spending time with my nephew and niece. Like, there's a lot of things that I could have done, but I had to go to sleep, get ready for work, go to work, spend time away from the loved ones. So time is very precious. I want us to understand that, if we are given time to do something that is very near and dear to our heart, take advantage of that time because you never know when you get that opportunity. I'm a what they call an opportunistic guy. I'm opportunist, whatever, however you want to say it. Um, I like to take advantage of the opportunity at hand, basically. If it's given to me and it's right there in front of my face, I'm gonna take it. Who says I'm gonna get a chance to see this again? Who says I'm gonna get a chance to experience this again? So why not endure that, whatever it may be, in that time frame when it comes to you? Um, my kids are involved in sports right now, and I would hate to miss any games, practices. Like, it's just the fact that those are precious moments that you can't get back. And for those dads who miss those opportunities, I hate it for them because I wish that every parent, not even just dad, every parent, everybody that's involved in the child's life, get a chance to experience that time with those kids because I don't think you understand what that means to them as far as a mental mindset that, hey, I got support. So it's important for kids to experience something like that. Time is very important to kids. You got to spend some time with them too. That to show them that, hey, I'm here for you. I'm not just here to buy you gifts. I'm not just a money machine. I'm not your bank. I'm not your ATM. I'm here for you at any given time, whether it be homework, whether it be sports, whether it be just going outside, tossing a football or hitting the volleyball or swinging the baseball bat, throwing the, whatever it may be, riding a bike, walking downtown, going to the park. Spending time with those kids is very important to them. And you have to understand that you got to sacrifice your time away from other things to spend that time with your kids. Um, so it's just, time is very precious. Like I said, the present isn't present. It's a gift. So take advantage of that because we don't know what the future holds. We can only hope what the future brings to us, but we don't know. Anybody who tell you they know the future, I want to talk to that dude. Like, let me see what the future holds. I don't want to know everything, but I do want to know what the future holds because I want to know kind of like how life navigates itself. But at the same time, I'm still curious about it. I don't want to know everything, but I would like to know if things will be successful in the future. Just because of what I am doing right now, what I went through in the past, what I'm going through right now, and what I'm going to be. Do you get what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that's just like I say. Time is just a unit of measurement. Uh, and I also want to touch base on the topic because I talked with a couple of people, like I said before, about time not being real. Uh, I was as I was speaking with them, I understand. Like I'm the type of person where I have conversations to engage, to understand, to get to know where people are coming from. I'm not here to try to help everybody, but I just want to get an understanding of where their mind is, their thought process, and why they think that way. It ain't nothing for me to gain to tell people information, but I do like to talk because if I have a conversation with someone and they're telling me something personal, that's between me and them. Also, if I feel like if we having an informal conversation, that's something I can share to the masses. You get what I'm saying? So the conversation I had the other day with two people who have talked to me about the illusion of time, it's just for inform. It's informative for me because I want to understand where they're coming from about the illusion of time. Uh, and I did some little digging, and I came upon a theoretical physicist named Carlo Rovelli. You can look him up your own self. Uh, but he says our naive perception of its flow doesn't correspond to physical reality. Now, when I read that, it took me some time to understand it. And by talking with someone that's near and dear to my heart, they said that time isn't real because of the fact of I can do whatever I want when I want and still have the same outcome as somebody who's going against a timeline. And I said, I get it. I do get that. And I also wanted to tell them that, there's a certain allotted time to do certain things, to get things done. Because you don't have forever. Like I said, tomorrow's not promised. So that's why we try to cram so much into one day. But I also understood why they said what they said about I can still do the same thing as that person who's trying to cram everything in one day. Because, not saying that that person is lazy. I'm not calling them lazy by far. No, because they're not lazy. They are a go-getter. They believe in what they believe in. They're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And I get that totally, because sometimes I feel the same way. I feel like, man, you just let me do, let's chill. I'm going to do it when I do it. That's just like, say, if you at the house and your spouse be like, hey, I need you to clean out the garage. All right, I do it. And their mindset, like, do it right now because it's dirty. Get that job done right now. But in your mindset, like, I mean, I got time. But do you? It's a 50-50 battle, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do, but you don't. Uh, Going back to what I was saying, though, like, when they said that I can do what I need to do when I want to do it on my time, like, I understood that, because you don't want to feel pressured to do something, especially if it's something that you feel like you can embrace within yourself. That's something that you love to do, something that you are passionate about. Why should you feel pressured to do it? Let it come to your. Let me rephrase that. Let it come to you. Don't go out there and just push forth the effort. I feel like that's what they're trying to tell me. I'm going to get there. I'm going to reach the finish line, but on my terms. I don't want nobody to dictate how I feel. And I said, okay, I get it. I mean, I understand that. Then I understand how you can feel that time is illusion. Because they were saying, she also said that daylight savings time, which I believe this too. Daylight savings time is it's hogwash. I mean, people have to understand that the earth it rotates. So why do we really have daylight saving time? Um, but time, like I said before, time is a measuring stick. So you have to have some form of measurement in life. And that's what time is. Whether you believe it's an illusion or not, but it is what it is. It's a measuring tool. We can get out a ruler. We can get out drive down the road, measure the miles. Something is measuring stick. So time is a measuring stick. In life, you got a year that you're born, you got a year that you die. So, but the illusion of time is very interesting, and you can go in more in depth if you want to. Uh, I did just a little bit. I dabbled a little bit and looked at it and researched, and I was like, I get. Now, if you understand theoretical physics and the quantum physics and all that, I ain't talking about the Marvel stuff. I'm talking about like the actual quantum series. Like, that's some deep diving stuff. And you'd be like, for all my people who like physics in high school and things like that, and that's something that you may want to do more research on your own. Um, but it's very interesting when you talk to people who say that time is not real and it's just an illusion. you know, because those are free thinkers, and I applaud those free thinkers. You know, I'm a bit of a free thinker myself because this podcast is just right out the dome. I take a few notes here and there, but I like to gab because I'm a free thinker. A lot of people are free thinkers. They like to have their mind just to flow, you know, and they don't want to be compelled, you know. So I can understand people who say that time is an illusion. Um, but also remember that it's still a measuring stick in life. Like I said before, you have a beginning, you have an end. You know, life is a circle. So what goes around does come around eventually. Um, I was talking to my barber too about. He said he was like, "Well, what you mean by that? What goes around comes around." So back in '98, my family first moved to Simpsonville, and I was in sixth grade. You know, happy. Got our first house. We like, hey, we got our own house and everything like that. You know, we stayed in Simpsonville all the way through. I graduated high school. I went to college. The first time I came home, I thought I was going back to Simpsonville. I was really riding. Hey, that's home. Where y'all going? Where we going? We moved. What you mean we moved? How you going? First of all, they was wrong. They moved without telling me. Like, how you gonna move without telling me? I'm in college. I'm 2 hours away, whatever, like that. They ain't called me and say, "Hey, Corey, we moved while you was at school," and nothing like that. They just picked me up from school one day. I was on fall break, I believe, going back home. I was like, all right, I'm about to go home, see my homeboys, chill out with them and everything like that, see family I ain't seen in a while, whatever. Nah, these jokers don't move on me. So we moved a couple times after that. You know, long story short, I move out on my own. This is some crazy. Think about. All right, so when I move out the house at 21, I moved to Pella Road. Now, remind you, I said that when we first moved, my family first moved to Simpsonville in '98. All right. So fast forward, I'm 21. I move out on my own. Me and my cousin, we get our own little spot off Pelham Road, and we, 21 years old and everything like that, living, think we grown, whatever. So I have my daughter a few years later, and we started to move. You know, the family's expanding, so I moved to. I, now the boys that do that. Okay. So I'm trying to read comments from IG. So um, we moved. The family expanded, so we moved to Taylor's. All right. After we moved to Taylor's, we moved right back to Pelham Road, right across the street from when I first moved out the house. I was like, dang, I never thought I'd end up right back where I started from. It's all right. So lived there, lived on Pelham Road for a few years. I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to get a house. I get a house in Simpsonville. And I was like, I didn't really want to come back to Simpsonville, but what was funny was, as I told him, I said, it happened. He said, now, was that your destiny? No, that was not my destiny. But at the same time, we can't control our own destiny. We just push forward in life. And it's funny, if you think about it, it's funny how life brings us back to where we started from. How many times have you known people who move away, but they're like, I had to come back home? I told y'all, life full circle, man. It's a cycle. Clocks or a circle, they reset itself. Life resets itself. Yeah, I think people are born in there every day. Somebody in this world is born. Every day, somebody in this world dies. You take it how you want to take it. Like I said, this is just coming from me. Uh, my own opinion. Tap into it how you want to tap into it. But that's just what I believe. How my thought process works. And I always understand that life is full circle. What goes around comes around. Thank y'all, and I'll see y'all next episode.